Hello on the planet beyond. I am Sade up between here and there, a Thrive-based consulting firm or business. Okay, and I want to get into access to U.S. persons information. Okay, so there is an executive order 12333 that you can look up. It's about 15 pages, so you can read within details when it comes to what a U.S. person is, how they are protected, as well as what removes that protection. Okay, so there are things that you could end up doing that remove your protection, and so you have to be aware of that, because when you are traveling this expanse, you are covered. And so if you play your cards right, you don't have to worry about not being protected. So when you go to different countries, there's embassies that give you certain information and certain access to things because you're a U.S. person. When a country is going into a crisis, they can prioritize you based off of your affiliation to the U.S. government, being a U.S. person, being a citizen, as well as other things that give you, placement and access to things based off of you being a U.S. person. Now, I want to specifically get into information when it comes to U.S. persons. The storing of information. U.S. persons' information can only be stored in systems that are secured and regulated, okay? And only the people that have placement and access to that information should have that information, okay? And we've known throughout history there's always insider threats where people use information for their own personal gain. And so therefore we have to have an understanding of our rights and what that looks like, so we can defend ourselves in different situations. You know, credit card fraud, insurance fraud, um, false identity. There's so many different things that happens when it comes to that piece. And so I encourage you to look it up, get well versed on it, to ensure that you can eloquently put together what is actually going on in your case. Okay, research, research, research. I personally suggest going to libraries. I enjoy the librarians' interactions and their wealth of knowledge to be able to find information for you, as well as physical books, being able to flip through those, getting information. I think it's better than the internet. The internet does not have all the information that's been stored in books, because books is the oldest, one of the oldest forms of literary history. Okay, so whatever type of book, whatever information is in the book, it's always been like pen to paper, ink to paper, carving to paper, some form of structure, paint into paper. Uh, Again, painting, stamping, same concept. Some medium, paper, wood. What's it? Papyrus, the scrolls, and then some form of ink, whether that stamp, paint. So you have to have a need to hold that information. You have to be in a certain position, have placement and access to even hold that information. If you're found out storing information that you don't have placement and access to, or the need to have that information within that situation, you are in violation. Okay, and again, because you're a U.S. person, you're a citizen, you fall under the U.S. government. So therefore, there's federal laws that apply. Okay, there's some heavy hitter laws that apply when it comes to your protections as a citizen. Okay, that's why we pay so much taxes. I think that's about the best part when it comes to tax payment, is your U.S. person's protection, because it protects you across the planet. Okay. This goes into the Department of State, Treasury, Defense, Homeland Security, Energy, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And so, as I said on a previous video, when it comes to business law and finance law, because I mentioned immigration law, it's like when it comes to when you're following the money, that financial law piece, when you're following the money, you don't know exactly where it's coming from. And so therefore a U.S. person could be involved, a foreign person could be involved. So there's the alphabet soup comes into play. You never know what you're going to get. There's some people say the alphabet boys say the alphabet soup because you don't know. Sometimes you think it is low level, and it's definitely bigger than that. So, yeah. So, yeah, and the executive order, specifically deals with human technical collection techniques. Okay. So, collection, storage, I believe there's a clause in there about movement of that material as well and the security of it. And the security of it. So, yeah, you're U.S. persons, you're protected, and things are regulated when it comes to how the information is dispersed, how it's stored, who has access to it, do you have the need to know? Because a clearance does not allow you just to get into these grave secrets, just because, whatever it is, whatever level clearance you believe you have, you still have to have the need to know. And so with that need to know piece, once you're starting to go further and you're prying in and you're storing U.S. persons information, you're on social systems and you're looking them up, you're looking them in these databases, especially like regulated, federally funded databases. That's just not the right move. Don't look up the U.S. person, okay? It's just not a good look, okay? Excuse me. I think that's it for this one. That's a nice little chunk of information. I really, throughout my time in the service and being able to see like what's regulated and how it's stored and how we got to routinely go through the information and cipher locks and this, it's like, it's a really big deal. It's serious. And so we should all take it as such. So I'm Sade Between Here and There, a Thrive-based consulting business surrounding global hygiene and applications of information technology. We define global hygiene as the cleanliness and the health of the planet, okay? So there's all these different systems that operate on this expanse, and so we need to ensure that we're taking care of it as best as we can because we are stewards to this sentient being called Earth or Mother Gaia, or whatever language or place you come from, because I love and enjoy so many different places that I visited and got to see how similar we are, how different we've had to adapt based off of our locations, our environment, temperature, climate, position on the planet, all these different things. So check out the website betweenhtllc.com. We do have a class called the Solo Traveler, which I love and enjoy because it gives you everything you need to traverse this planet and to be educated as to how to do so effectively. Okay? So enjoy yourselves, and I will talk to you later.